I'll tell you, a friend of mine actually asked me, how does emotional tiredness work? How does it work? Because for someone to actually get tired, there must be a certain reason. And like I used to say, everything that happens on earth actually have a reason attached to it. That made me come to the realization that if you are emotionally tired, that means that you are living in a circle. But imagine you have a big circle and this is you. Being emotionally tired means that you are restricted to the other factors, other entities in the world, and you are only feeling like you are in a cell or you are in a cage whereby you can't move. You have only limited freedom. That's what emotional tiredness means. Everything, nothing makes sense to you. No motivation, nothing. But on the other end, if you have the total awareness of what emotional tiredness means, you can. There's a way to stop it, and there's a way if you actually feel it. There's a way to get out of it, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now, like I mentioned, emotional tiredness make you feel like you're restricted, and it only gives you some limited freedom to other entities in the world. That's why when you're emotionally tired, most things people do doesn't make sense to you. And like the friend that asked me mentioned, one of the symptoms is you can't involve in an argument because everything the person says is actually right. Because now is trying to argue, you just do what follow the flow. What do you do? A lot of people say take a walk, and that's actually one of the best way to get out of the zone of the tiredness. Take a walk. And here's the one thing about taking a walk. Taking a walk doesn't mean a physical exercise. It means you are creating an emotive what's it called? You are increasing the emotive boundary by making use of a physical effort. Let me explain. When you take a walk, there are things you see in your environment that when you see them, there's this thought that want to bring up a conversation about those things. And sometimes, if you actually take a walk in the bush or beside like in a countryside, or if you are part of people that like to take a walk in a way that you want to appreciate nature, that's maybe the forest or taking a walk in the bush, you see that that feeling of appreciation or that feeling of totally the total attraction to nature is what's it called? Increasing the boundary, whereby instead of you being stuck inside the circle, you are increasing the boundary to another circle. And one thing is that if you continue taking a walk, there are conversations that want to pop up in your mind, and thereby you are increasing the circle to a point that you literally find yourself outside the circle and you feel mental relief. That's what taking a walk does. It's the art of increasing emotive boundary by physical effort. And that thing is that talk to someone. If you actually have someone you can talk to when you are down, or let me say someone you talk to when you are tired, there's a way that once you utter that first statement, you feel like you are totally out of the zone of the emotional tiredness. And if you continue doing those things, that if you continue that habit, anytime you are tired, realize that those things can be broken. Once you are tired, talk to someone. Or if you are that person that likes to listen to music, the process of listening to that music, don't listen to slow music. The process of listening to that music, try to forget a rap or maybe an hip hop or a jazz, whereby you can sing along. Because at that point of you opening your mouth to talk, because of losing the shame of that tiredness. And the third one is you've ever noticed why they say scream people to scream? I feel like screaming. I feel like screaming. It's same thing with the talking, but in this way you don't have the second party to talk to. You really have yourself, and the only way you can scream, the only way you can talk to someone is to scream, and that screaming sends a signal to your parasympathetic part of the body, whereby it triggers like, let's get to work. That's what it does. And once you do that, you are a step outside the zone. If you are feeling emotionally tired, here's one thing you should know. Number one, you should take a walk. This one works totally best. And during that process of taking a walk, you can meditate as well, or maybe listening to songs. You can actually increase your pace to make it kind of. like a little run or a sprint. Number two is talk to someone or host a conversation. These things might be hard to do in the first place, but once you take the first step to actually do that thing, realize how easy to do, because the threshold barrier to overcoming something needs to be put in place, and that first stage is the hardest one. So third one is talk to someone, and the last one is scream. That one that works for you, make sure you do your best. And once you continue using that, once you put that into your arsenal, you realize that once you feel emotionally tired, you already have what it takes to break it.